Hi and welcome to my new YouTube channel where I will talk about fantasy and mythology books. My name is Shrikant. I live in Sweden outside Stockholm and I've been reading fantasy and mythology since I was a very small boy. One of the incentives that made me start this channel is because I want to talk to you. I want to talk with you subscribers, I want to talk with other booktubers and sometimes maybe authors as well who write fantasy. I'm writing myself. But some of you might know me from Twitter where I have an X account and I have been there for many years posting Malasan things and through Twitter got to know many of you here. And you have given me such a good impression of being a booktuber, so that's why I'm starting now to see how it is, and I hope to come in contact with many of you. I read a lot, of course, and when you go through what can you do on your first YouTube video, there are a lot of different questions you can ask yourself and answer on this video. I've looked some of the questions up and only a few resonated with me, but I will go through them. One of the things that you might be interested in is what I'm reading right now. So I have a pile of books just beside me and I will not go deep into the books. It will be a topic for other YouTube videos, but just to get a picture of who I am via my books. So here you have The House of Chains by Steven Erikson. Many of you know that I'm very fond of Malasan and I think it's a brilliant kind of fantasy literature. I think it's beyond fantasy. It connects to spirituality, to post-colonialism, to many other subjects, and it's a achievement. I would say it's a masterpiece. This is my second read of this book, means it's my first reread of the book. Why do you reread books like this? They are very thick. There are 10 books of this in the series. Well, it gives me so much. Malasan has developed myself as a human being. I'm understanding more things about myself and about the world we live in. So I really recommend this, and I will talk more about the book, of course, why it's so good. I'm also reading other kind of literature. I think Steven Erikson is connected to philosophy, for example. So I'm reading some philosophical books. At the moment, I'm reading What is Ancient Philosophy by Pierre Hadot. And it's about, what can we learn from the ancient philosophers today, and how can we implement some of their teachings into our everyday life. It's interesting. I think it's very rewarding. I think Mr. Erikson, he includes a lot of philosophy in his books as well. So fantasy is a very broad genre, and that's something I would like to talk about together with you during my time here on Booktube. A third book that I'm reading right now is The Iliad, and it's not so entertaining cover maybe. It's a Swedish translation of the Iliad, and it's Greek mythology, of course, and mythology, fantasy. It's all connected as I see it. So I think these kind of early works or epics, you could say classics, is important to read. I read other stuff as well, which has connection to Nordic folk tales and Nordic pre-Christian religion, and also things connected to Hinduism and Buddhism as well. I think it's rewarding to see that mythological stories has been there from the dawn of humanity. So we just like telling stories, we humans, don't we? The last book I want to show today is the is a manga. I'm not so fond of manga actually, but some manga are good, and this is one of them. It's the Vagabond. I'm a hatha yoga practitioner since many years back, so I do different meditations and other kind of yoga techniques to be peaceful. Vagabond is about Miyamoto Musashi. He's a Ronin or samurai, and initially he's very brutal and ambitious, you could say, and gradually he becomes more and more humble. And it's interesting to see that story, how you can decrease your desires from a yogic perspective. I would like to speak about Vagabond from that perspective, and I hope some of you are interested to listen to that. And what about you? Maybe you read these books as well. Maybe you read other books or comics as well. I read comics as well, but I won't go into that now. I hope to bring my enthusiasm for the genre here on YouTube. As I said, I've read fantasy and mythology since I was small, and it has given me so much. I think this genre of literature has created a lot of feelings of belonging for me, and feeling context, and also in a feeling context in a very confusing world, and also feeling hope and feeling happy. So I think fantasy can help you with a lot of things in life. And lastly, I think fantasy has given me a lot of friends, and I hope this initiative here with the YouTube channel will give me more friends, more bookish friends to talk literature with. I would like to do that, so I'm happy to be here and to talk with you. And what about you? Maybe you should start asking yourself some questions. What has fantasy given you? Why did you start to read fantasy, and how has it helped you? You don't need to answer the questions. I will make videos about this. If you want, you can comment in the field below, of course. I'm happy if you do it, but if you don't do it, just wait. There will come videos on this subject as well. I also think that there is a strong link between fantasy and mythology and spirituality. As I said, I'm a hatha yoga practitioner since many years back, and I usually read fantasy and mythology from that perspective. What we can learn, what our souls can learn from the literature. Maybe it sounds deep. I think if you just read fantasy and enjoy the story, nothing more, that is okay. They are great stories, and it's totally okay to read stories like that. But there are also more meaning to many of the fantasy and mythological stories. And I will delve a bit deeper into that in my videos, and I hope you find it interesting as well. I also intend to explore what fantasy is. How are fantasy world built? How are they built? What's the relation from fantasy or between fantasy and mythology? And sometimes, of course, I will review books for you. And I'm very curious on you. Why are you here? What do you appreciate? What do you want to listen to? Please comment in the field below. I hope you will like it here, and feel free to subscribe. Feel free to comment. I'm happy to be here with you. Take care, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you. Bye.